with StreamYard, so I gotta catch up. Have you used StreamYard yet?
No, but now I need to.
Yeah, it's pretty user friendly once you know how to work it and all that. So we'll go ahead and get started. Hey everybody, welcome. I am going to take this off of our overlay. People are going to be joining us. People are looking forward to this. And so excited about our live. Do you have the sound on, Marla, on your phone? Just I hear it. Do you hear the echo?
No sound on my phone. Nothing is playing from my phone.
Oh, okay. I heard an echo.
Okay.
Do you hear that?
Yeah, I hear it. But I don't hear it when I speak.
Right. I heard it when I speak. Okay, I think it's gone now. All
okay.
Right. All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. As you know, I'm Chandra Brooks, founder of the Powerhouse Academy and the Powerhouse Women. I am on here today with the wonderful and amazing Marla Hunter from Live, Love, and Teach, LLC. Hi, Erica. Hi, Elizabeth. Your sisters are on here joining you, of course. We knew that. But today this is a case study about Marla's story and her movement through the Powerhouse Academy, how we connected, and all the wonderful things that she's doing. She's multi-talented, multi-skilled. I mean, when I met her first time we talked, I was like, girl, the world needs to know who you are, and we need to put you out there more because you have so much to share with this world. Let's figure out how we're going to do this, okay? Because you have so much. Right? Yes, so much. I was like, oh, what are we gonna focus on here? And it just happened the way it happened, and I like it to happen that way. So Marla, tell the world about who you are, what you do, and all that wonderful stuff.
So my name is Marla Hunter, and I go by Miss Marla Hunter. The reason why is because if you just Google Marla Hunter on the internet, there will be other women who come up. The first woman who comes up is this woman named Marla Hunter, and she has been deceased for some time. She passed away from cancer. So I was like, okay, so I need to make myself a little bit more special. So I tagged on Miss. So if you ever research MS period Marla Hunter, it'll be nothing but me who pop up. And I've been having my business or businesses for a while. And when I decided to move back stateside from living internationally for the 6 years, and I came back in August. Yeah, August. And the whole reason for me coming back was to do what I've been doing internationally, from running a successful business internationally. Not saying that I didn't have the business before, because I did. It just wasn't doing what I wanted it to do, or I didn't know how to run it properly. So the experience internationally gave me some more exposure to people who weren't just your typical American-based people for what I want to do. And then it blew up from there. So my whole thing was, okay, so I'm doing this internationally, but I'm not being able to feed people stateside. Yeah. So that was my whole reason for coming back. And since being back, when I moved to San Jose, which was on a whim, I can say that San Jose has been good to me. It really has been. San Jose, I did not know what to expect. I've never gone into anything with any expectations. I usually just go very open-mindedly. But I can say that moving to San Jose has been one of the best experiences living in the United States ever for me. Nice. And it's because I got a job here. My career changed within the field of education to going back and being outside of the classroom, because that's how it was for my last 4 years being internationally. I was not in the classroom. I was in a leadership position. San Jose offered that to me, and then meeting Latoya Fernandez at work, and she was just talking about this group she was with and doing all of this, and I was like, yeah, okay.
That's nice.
I don't know if I'm ready for that, but it's a journal entry that one day I was writing in my journal that popped open, and I realized I had told myself I needed a business coach.
Wow. Before that, was that?
Yeah, it was in my journal when I was living in Nigeria. That's when I wrote it.
Oh, okay. So before you came, were you in Nigeria before you came to San Jose?
I was in Nigeria from 2016 to 2018. So during that time, I was like, I need a business coach, but I didn't really know how to go about it.
Right.
So when it flipped to that part, the next day I went to Toya and I was like, okay, tell me about this amazing group that you're always telling me about anyway, and give me all the details and go ahead and I want to sign up. Because I didn't even, like, for me, it was like, I don't care. I hear about the excitement about it, and I hear the excitement in your voice, and I want a piece of that excitement too.
Yes.
So that's what she told me about Powerhouse, and told me how amazing Chandra Brooks is. I was like, I don't even care. Whoever Chandra Brooks is, go ahead and sign me up.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember it was just like, I just want to sign up. It wasn't even like a conversation. You're like, we don't really need to even like have a conversation.
Yes.
I'm ready, because from what Toya said, I'm ready to go. And I was like, whoa, I don't even have to sell you on this.
No.
I don't have to convince you. You were convinced already.
No, I was already convinced, because I knew what I needed in order to get where I wanted to be.
Yes.
And in my mind, I just knew, okay, I need somebody who is successful to help me to get to that place from where I am now.
Right. Yeah. I want somebody to help me do what they did, right? Because I want to get there. So it's like automatic. That's how I pick my coaches. I'm like, I want to get there. I want to be $1 million coach. Okay, that's my next part.
Yes.
That's my next coach. So it's very clear. It's wherever your direction that you're trying to go, you work with somebody who's done it already. So anyway, Marla joined Powerhouse Academy for cohort 7. Right? Yeah, cohort 7, which is featured in my last sisterhood video, which Marla wasn't able to be there. But Marla, you're gonna be in my next video, just FYI. Okay, you're already marked as somebody who's gonna be in my next video. But Marla, we had a picture of Marla that day. It was a picture because she couldn't be there, but her picture was on the table, and we honored her the whole day. I just wish if I would have thought, I would have the videographer zoom in on you and include you in the video, but everything was going on that crazy day. But you were definitely a part of that feeling that we had that day, that sisterhood that we had that day, which was amazing, which inspired that video. So I just want to thank you, because you're a huge part of that sisterhood, because a lot of them missed you and a lot of them look up to you, and they were excited about having your, I wonder if this, let me turn my Facebook off. I wonder if it's mine. I just keep hearing that feedback in the background. I don't know why it's doing that. My phone's off and everything.
I think it's just, I hear a residual, but it's not bad.
Yeah, it's not too crazy, but it's annoying me.
It's bothering you.
Yeah. Where is it at so I can get rid of it? But anyway, but a lot of the girls in the Powerhouse looked up to you, and I think they could also see now from when you started to where you are now. And when I posted this announcement, I wasn't lying when I say, okay, Marla, what's that? Like whenever you text me or call me, I'm like, okay, what happened now? Like, what good news are you about to tell me? Like, who reached out to you? What are you doing now? Because I can't even keep up with the amount of success and opportunities that you've had. And I'm not even giving it 100% to Powerhouse. What I'm giving it to is you finally realizing that you were the shit, right?
And that is
amazing. All you had to offer to the world, and it was just owning it, right? Building your confidence, and then seeing that if you market yourself and put yourself out there, what could happen.
I 100% agree with you. I will say this. I attribute a lot of stuff to my mom because
Yes.
my mom, she has always been there for me. So if she's watching and when I send it to her next, she'll be, so Marcia Hunter, I love you. I
Love
appreciate
you,
you.
Marcia.
You have been wonderful. Like, she is that backbone of who I am. However, you know, you're used to hearing those things all the time.
Yeah.
And I know it's not just because she loves me, but she tells me the truth. But you need sometimes to get this extra push from someone who is not biased.
Yes.
Who knows absolutely nothing from you. And so for me, that's what Powerhouse did for me. For me, it was like, okay, I have these ladies, these other sisters that are in my life who are holding me accountable. If I say I'm going to do something, somebody is going to call me or text me to make sure that I have done it. Yes. And so I got to do it. It's not just all about me, saying, okay, well, I'm going to do it and it'll get done sometime. I need to put a date on it. I need to scratch it off after I've done it. And then I need to tell someone else within the group that it has been completed.
Yeah.
And that's what I can say has helped me out a lot, because you do those motivational talks in yourself, and I go to myself in the mirror, you the bomb, you got this. But it's nice to hear from other people as well who actually really mean it.
Yes, exactly. And I think that like cohort 7 was the most sisterly, I guess is a word. I don't know, but it built the strongest bond out of all of my cohorts. Honestly, cohort 7, you guys really created a sisterhood and a bond that I haven't seen in any of the powerhouses. And it's the expectation, right? But it was a sisterhood even before cohort 7. But you guys created a bond that continues, right? Continues, and I don't think it's ever going to stop. So I really appreciate you guys holding each other accountable and being there for each other and doing check-ins and all that wonderful stuff that you guys do to stay connected. But what I wanted to talk about, like once you started owning your power and your expertise in a whole nother way, right? Because like you said, you've had your company. When I met with Marla, I was looking at everything she does, looking at her CV and looking at her, resumes and all her credentials and her website. And I was like, girl, really? Okay, you don't know the shit yet? Okay, let me remind you and let me continue to remind you of this. And let me tell you how if you just told people who you are and started marketing and promoting yourself and sharing with people what you've done and what you do, those opportunities are going to be flowing in, right? And you were kind of like, okay, yeah. And the good thing is that about you is that you would just take action. Like I tell you something, and you wouldn't necessarily. I could see you processing it, and then next thing I know, you're doing like an international opportunity, and I'm like, what? You're like, well, I just did this, and I tweaked this, and I did that, and in my inbox, somebody offered me this international teaching opportunity, virtual contract, and I'm like, okay, all right, because there's more where that came from if you just continued doing what you did.
Exactly. And I think my thing was consistency. I was not consistent. So I had LinkedIn, but I was not consistent with it at all. And one thing that I even tell my entrepreneurship students that I work with now is your consistency. Like with all these algorithms and things that are going on, it's all about consistency. You have to be consistent with posting. And even though I don't like posting like that, I've gotten to the point where it's like, I really don't want to post. But I realize that if I do post, what will happen? So me posting and me taking a snapshot of something that I've done or a video of something and then redoing it and posting it out there, then someone sees it and then I get these emails and I'm like, who are you?
Right. How did you know? How did you hear about me? Like, where'd you come from?
Right.
And you know what? Can you just share? And I wanted to tell you this before we got on here to write down kind of some of the opportunities that you've been able to have and receive since Powerhouse Academy, or just like in the last couple of months. What has come down the pipe for you in regard to everything? Like, if you can just, I know it's hard to probably remember everything, but tell us some of the things that have happened. I can't even talk right now. Happened in the last couple of months for you.
So before, I think like probably 3 weeks before the program ended, I told you my goal was to get 3 contracts by October 31st. And October 31st was my deadline because my birthday is October 29th. And so I wanted to kind of round out the month of October with at least having 3.
Right.
But by July, I'd already had 4. So with that was, and this is why, like, putting yourself out there and letting people know what you do, then somebody else will see it and will like, hey, here's an opportunity for this. So one of my mentees, who's actually my educator cohort for bridging the gap within education, and I know her before because she was someone I mentored while I was in the UAE, and she's also a friend. She's like, hey, Marla, check this out. A girlfriend of mine is doing something in DC. So I looked at it, and it was for an e-facilitator position for a nonprofit getting government things in DC. I signed it. I signed up. I sent them an email, sent them my CV. They emailed me, and I got a contract within the end of the week.
Yeah.
So that is with Future First of DC, and they are Black-owned educational consulting business for youth and young adults in the DC area. And they do everything from robotics to engineering to public safety. And so the 2 contracts that I've had with them, one of them that I'm on right now, the first one was with public safety. And public safety basically is to teach the students about certain things that's going on, civil engagement, how to get involved with their community. And the one I'm on now, I'm the lead e-facilitator for, is the entrepreneurship program. And why I love it so much is this is something that my mother also did when she was in Memphis for the government of Tennessee. She had programs like this. So I was like, oh, I know how to do this already because I've seen my mom do it.
Right.
And I also worked with her on doing it.
Yeah.
So that made it easier for me. And what they love about the fact is that I bring in speakers. So shout out to all the people who volunteer to speak to these young adults, because you all have made grave impacts in their lives. So that was 2 that I got before June ended.
Wow.
And so now I'm working, another girlfriend of mine gave my information to a gentleman who works for the American Association of South American Schools. So it's an organization that independent and international schools all over South America can join, where they can get professional development. People can apply to work at the schools, things of that nature. And so Adam reached out to me to do professional development for teachers all over South America. And it's about 60 plus schools. So I just ended a web series with them, doing 4 sessions on distance learning within the early childhood sector, which is from preschool to kindergarten. The next one that I'll be doing with them, so it's a series of things that they want me to do. So the next one that I'll be doing with them is on creating a diversity, equity, and inclusion curriculum in the early childhood and elementary school setting. So it'll be 4 weeks of helping teachers and directors and heads of school to develop a DEI curriculum for their schools.
Can I just jump in really quick, because this listing of stuff can continue to go on. But I just want to jump in and say all of these opportunities would not have come unless you were visible, right? And even with friends, right? Because we're like, everybody knows what I do. Everybody knows I'm in education, but they don't really know what you do, right? Until you start showing them. And it's very strategic in how I teach how to market yourself and how to leverage and how to tell people about what you do, right? It's like, tell people very specifically what you do and what you're looking for. That's because we have to explain to people, we have to give instructions online. Sometimes people think, I'm just going to post my flyer, I'm going to post my link to my website, and people are going to assume, or I'm assuming that they're going to know what I can do for them. And it's not true. We have to share examples. We got to post in a certain way. We have to kind of brag on ourselves a little bit about our wins and the results that we can get. Like all of these strategic ways that I talk about, and how to market yourself and really how to put yourself out there in a bold way, right? And although friends were reaching out to you, that they're friends that were like, oh yeah, right? And how I tell you guys, stay on the top of minds of people. So you have to be consistent. So you kept being consistent on LinkedIn, consistent on Facebook, and putting yourself out there. So people are like, oh yeah, Marla does that. Let me connect her with so-and-so. Like I said, you never know who's watching. You never know who's watching and who knows who and who can connect you to who, right?
And that's the great thing, because the conference that I just did, or I should say the webinar that I just did for the Black Caucus of California, I never heard of them, and they aren't even in our area.
Right.
It's in the LA region, and the person that reached out to me, her name happens to be Marla. And I just friended her on Facebook because we had a friend of a friend. But because her name was Marla and she's a Black woman, I connected with her. She was seeing all the things that I'm doing. And so therefore she reached out to me to tell me what it is that she does. And then she asked me to be on the panel with all these mayors and Congress women and men that I probably would have never had the opportunity to be on. I was the only non-governmental person on that panel.
Non-elected official.
Yeah. How racism is a public health issue. I don't think I would have ever gotten that opportunity if I didn't put humble brags out there.
Yeah.
And that is something that I'm having to get used to, is bragging on myself.
Yeah, exactly. Humble brags. I like the way you say that, because it's really just sharing with people our wins and the results and the successes you've had. It's like, let me help you. I can help you too. It's not for my ego. It's actually to show you that I get results, that whatever I do, you're going to be happy with what I do. So hire me, connect me, bring me on board, show me. So it's just a certain way to go about it, right? And just to pump up our egos. It's really, a strategy that I teach to help entrepreneurs get more business, right? Like, I'm not going to tell you to pump up a service that is non-existent or that you suck at, right? I gotta make sure that, when you're working with me, whatever you're doing is legit, right? Let's tell people about it. Let's tell people, why be shy? There's no reason. Like, there's no reason to be shy. All these companies are talking about all their wonderful results on TV, on the radio. What makes you as a solopreneur so different? Why do you have to hide? Why do you have to wait for the business to come to you? Go get the business.
That's exactly it.
Business, right?
And that's one thing that I can say that I really do love about you, Chandra, is that when I was thinking, okay, for years, people telling you do too much. Yeah. And then my reply now is to some people who tell me that, it's like, you don't do enough. Right. Like, you telling me I do too much,
Yeah,
but
you don't do
no,
enough.
the fact is that you don't do enough, and and that's okay.
Yeah,
If you're
that's what
okay
you want to do.
with how it is that you're doing things, that is fine with you. But for
Mm-hmm.
me, I'm not okay with just being on this level. That's
Mm-mm.
that's not who I am. That is not who I was born to be. And being a part of Powerhouse has helped to revitalize all of that within me,
Yeah.
and helping me to realize, okay, so you're here, you're a lot closer. Okay, so now what are you going to do to push yourself up higher? And that's one thing that I'm really loving.
I'm sorry, my son just busted my door open, so I just looked out and looked so
I didn't even hear him.
didn't catch that. I looked at him like, what the hell are you doing? But anyway, sorry about that. My face looked crazy. But no, yeah, exactly. Putting yourself out there and letting people know. And I think that another thing with you is that you are very new to California, I mean, San Jose, and building a sisterhood network that you have now. And the connections you have now is amazing. It's unfortunate that it's been during COVID, right? So we haven't been able to get together like that, but you know that you have a circle surrounding you. Like if you need something, you know, oh, I could go to Miriam, I could go to Liz, I can go to Erica, I can go to Monique, I could go, you know, like I can go to Christina. We have this network of women that can support us and help us. So I think that that's amazing, right? That we're able. We don't get anywhere alone. We absolutely don't get anywhere alone. And I'm just so proud of you and all the moves that you're making. And I'm happy that you are part of the Powerhouse Academy and that you trusted me to help you. When people trust me to help them and then do the work, that's a winning combination right there, because you know, right? If you don't do the work, you ain't gonna get the results.
And that's the big part that I like out of everything that we talked about today. I really want people to understand, like, it's about the work.
Yeah.
Even if it's a little bit of work, it's still about the work. Because if you don't do anything, and it's Lena who reminded me about the sower and the seeds. So you have the sower, and you have one that dashes seeds on the rocky place. You have one dash it on the sand, and then dash it on good soil. You want to dash your seeds on good soil. That means you're putting in the work for it so that you can reap the benefits and the produce. And I really believe that even though COVID has been hard for all of us, it's been good to me.
Me too, girl.
COVID has been good to me because it has sat me down.
Yeah.
And I had to reevaluate how it is that I'm going to run my business and both of my business. How am I going to do both of them?
We didn't even talk about that we didn't even talk about the other business. I want to tell people about that because people might need you. So I want to talk to people about that too in a second. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, but it made me sit down and have to structure what it is that I'm doing. Getting these whiteboard papers and putting them on my wall and like daily writing down okay, so this is what I'm going to accomplish this week and next week and for the rest of the month. So I'm very thankful.
Yeah. So Marla, like I said, is multi-talented. Okay. It's like two extremes. It's not like she's really good at this and sort of good at this. She is I mean, I can't even explain. I don't even want to call you like a swim instructor because you're beyond that. So tell people what your other business is. I won't give a joke.
I have one business that does Live, Love, Teach LLC, which is a global education consulting business. And then I have Live, Love, Swim LLC, which is a global swim company, where my focus is on teaching brown and Black children and adults, so brown and black people, period, how to swim. And not saying that I don't have non-POCs who are who have me as a coach, because I have a lot. But for me, it is about the whole thing of diversity within aquatics. So that is my whole thing with my organization. So where I'm talking about diversity within education and businesses, then I'm talking about diversity within aquatics, because brown and black people, we are the ones who have the high percentages of drownings. And I've been swimming since the age 4, and I've always been that only one. So whereas I've been the only one on my swim team, only one on my synchronized swimming team, only one in the lifeguard training class, only one in the swimming coach training class, only one working. Like, I was the only one for years at the YMCA in Memphis where I was working, and only one at the JCC where I work here. I'm the only
one. Yeah. And tell me, didn't you just do something for a national aquatics?
Yes. So there was this post that was made by USA Swimming. And the USA Swimming post was made during LGBTQIA month, and it was called #SwimInclusion. The issue with that is that they never said anything about any of the shootings that were happening, never said anything about your black and brown swimmers. So it was a huge thing in the black and brown community as swim coaches, and a lot of us were starting to speak up about it. We emailed, had meetings with the USA Swimming Diversity Committee, and one of the things that I said to them is that, mind you, the woman in charge, she is Asian. Then you have 2 black people on there. One is a woman, one is a man. And I'm like, I didn't expect to see you all's faces. And not only that, I feel, and I told them, I said, I'm just going to be honest with you. I feel as if USA Swimming is bringing out, they have you in a courier cabinet and you are their fine china, and they only bring out their fine china when the good folks come along. And they stood back and they were like, wow, we've never heard it be put like that and never been called fine china. I said, because we are.
Yes.
As the BIPOC community, Black, Indigenous, people of color, and a lot of people have a hard time swallowing those terms because we're being lumped in one term, and I understand.
Yeah.
But that's who we are.
Yeah.
And we are this fine china that only gets pulled out when we want to get showcased or when they need to be showcased. So right now, actually, yesterday, I got an email from them where we will start working on smaller subsets within the diversity, equity, inclusion. So I will be working.
You got that opportunity because you reached out to them.
Yeah.
Right? They weren't looking very specifically, but you called them out on something.
Yeah.
This is what I want to tell people, right? Is to go get your business, go get your opportunity. Don't wait for it to land in your lap. Because I think I remember having this conversation with you and I said, you better go tell them what you do. You better show them your resume.
and that's what it is. So when I emailed them and emailed them also my resume, both and then my swim credentials too.
Right.
But it was the phone call message that they heard first. So I was like, I need them to see the email, but I also need to let them hear my voice.
Yes.
So I made sure I called and I left a message, and they told me it was my voicemail that let them know they needed to reach out to me.
And it was your experience and expertise in both. right?
Mm-hmm.
As an educator and as a swim instructor, a global swim instructor with all your credentials and everything that you've done, that was a combination. And I knew when you said that, I said they wouldn't be able to turn you down. They just didn't know you even existed.
That's it.
They didn't know you existed. And this is a lesson to a lot of people out there. How are you going to gain opportunity if people don't know you exist? Right? So sometimes you got to show people. You just got to put yourself on a platter and be like, hey, here I am. Right? So then they can eat you, serve you, so they could work with you.
That's exactly it.
You got to do that. You got to put yourself out there. And you did. And I think that was a great example for you too, and a lesson for you too. If you see something, like you see an organization that you could connect with, that you could offer services, you pitch to them. You tell them how they need you.
And I'm learning to do that. And and as I do it more, the better I get at it.
Yeah.
And also better at getting at not asking them when they're available, but giving organizations my availability. This is when I can meet with you.
I just do in my calendar.
Yeah, I just did that recently and gave an organization my time of when I can meet with them to talk about working with them as a coach. And the 2 times they gave were within my timeline, and so I picked them.
Hey, so Marla, we've already been talking 40 minutes. That this time goes by so fast, and we can continue to talk. So I want you to talk to any woman out there that is considering Powerhouse Academy and that is on the fence, right? That's on the fence, and they want to build their business. They want to be more visible. They don't have any strategy. They really actually don't even have clarity on what direction they're going to go in their business. What would you tell them right now?
Be like Nike and just do it. I mean, honestly, y'all know I'm an educator. I'm just now starting to make money in my businesses. Chandra is a human. She's human enough to understand that everybody goes through things. And so when I told her, I was like, okay, Chandra, the money that I'm making not coming in like I need to. Can we set something up? The whole thing is about asking.
Yeah, but you just communicate.
All you have to do is ask. I mean, you're either going to, and this is in life period, you're either going to get a no or you're going to get a yes. And most times, if you ask and are genuine, you get a yes. So if you're on the fence about joining Powerhouse Academy, whether you're in, and no, it's not just for people who's in California, it's for anyone, anywhere, anytime. So, and I know I have people who are internationally who are watching this. It's for you too. This academy helped to shape and mold me better than I could if I was on my own. And you're not doing it single-handedly. You're doing it with a group of other women who want the same thing as well. So it's not as if you have Chandra as your coach and that's it.
Yeah.
No, you have Chandra as your coach. You have other women who are in it too, who are helping. Like, we coach one another.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then there are outside women who have been previous people in previous cohorts who are coming to work with us to help build us too. So I don't have just one coach. I have 6 other coaches. And probably like 9 other coaches. And then after you're finished, you get put in this alumni group with several other people.
Doing major big things. Yeah.
Like, this isn't like a thing of, I know sometimes when people are getting coached, it's like one and done and that's it. That's not it. This is a lifetime opportunity that gives you lifetime people in your life that aren't going anywhere.
Yeah. Yes.
So if you're saying that you need a coach, if you're saying I want to have a business, but you don't know where to start, this is the perfect place to start.
Thank you, Marla. I appreciate it. I know the fear of signing up for something that you really don't know what you're going to get out of it. And so I really try to highlight women that have gone through it, to show the process and to show what can happen if you do the work and if you just believe in yourself. Right? Because at the end of the day, what I've been saying since I met you was all of this was inside of you already. Right? Sometimes we just need some strategy to market ourselves, the visibility, strategy, the support, the push, the kick in the butt, the snapping of the shorts, the accountability to get it moving and to get it going, and then we can take it up there for ourselves.
Exactly.
Right? We just need that. It's really, sometimes I say a coaching is really just about the accountability. It's like, I don't want to get on the call with Chandra again and say I didn't do that thing. Right? I didn't follow up. I didn't do this. I used to be like that with that's how I am with my coaches. I'm not about to get on the telephone and tell my coach I didn't do what he said I was supposed to do. Right? That'll get me ahead. It's for my own good. It's to grow my own business. So when I have always been a student in my coaching programs with my own coaches, I'm a star student. I'm doing everything that they say. I'm front and center. I'm at every call, because I've seen that if you do the work and you show up, that's when you're going to see the results. A lot of people want to get into a coaching program or get into something, and hopefully, like magic, the coach is going to sprinkle fairy dust on them and they're going to be successful. And it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't. It really does not.
Yeah. So I appreciate you, Marla, for being on here with me. I thank you. Like, opportunities come, doors open, and I'm going to constantly be filtering that stuff to you. And I can't wait for COVID to be over so we can really have a real reunion with everybody. But just thank you for being a part of that and being a resource and just sharing your gifts with us. Okay.
Thank you so much, Chandra. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions for Marla, what's your website? Just so people.
It is MissMarlaHunter.com.
Okay. MS.
Yes.
Marla.
MissMarlaHunter.com.
Is it this? Is that right?
No, A after the L.
Oops. Let's hide that. All right, let me do this again. Miss Marla Hunter.com. Okay, everybody, make sure you contact Marla. And
there you go. Yay!
Contact Marla for swimming, for consulting services. She's doing everything right now, but check her out and work with her. Reach out. If you're on the fence about joining Powerhouse Academy, reach out to me. We actually start in about a week and a half. And that's going to be the last cohort for 2020. And the next one is going to be like huge. So we got to do some refining the next couple of months, because that one's going to be $10,000, because it's going to have so much more in it. So we got to prepare for it, and we got to build it. So the last one, I even had some resources and some scholarships that not a few people took advantage of, Marla. So they're kind of
I don't understand
what's going on.
I was seeing those scholarships. I was like, people need to jump on that.
I had one. She committed, so I got one, but I had one more opportunity. I put it out there, and I'm like, I'm not going to chase anybody for this. Like, you're getting $5,000 off the current price of Powerhouse is $8,000 right now. So they'll get $5,000 off the current price. So I'm just saying, don't think about the initial investment. Think about the long term that's going to come out of this. Like, all those opportunities, right, that will come out of you just owning your power, building some strategy, and marketing yourself could go a long way.
That's what people don't realize, is that you can easily lose. Do you know how many times I've lost $5,000?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just because of doing foolish stuff within my business.
Right.
And now, because I am following what it is that we talked about, how many times I've gotten that $5,000 back now? Yeah.
That's how it works. So anyway, all right, everybody, we got to go. It's almost 2:00, but thank you for joining us tomorrow. I'm going to have Joy Gage. Joy is already is in this current cohort that's almost done right now, cohort 8, and she's already winning. So we're going to show everything she's done and her growth through her program and whatnot. So we're going to do that tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So join me back live. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Reach out to Marla. Reach out to me. Whatever you guys need, we're here for you. And see y'all later. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.